Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of the Majin News, the place where you can get a quick overview of the goings-on in the world of Dragon Ball from around the world. Without further ado, here are the biggest news announcements from the previous week. Registration counts for the popular esports tournament EVO have been revealed by the contest president Joey Coelho, and it reveals a shocking change of fortune for the fighting game Dragon Ball Fighterz. Last year, Dragon Ball Fighterz was right up at the top of the charts in regards to signups to participate, but the game has drastically slid back down to 7th in the rankings. The game has now fallen behind the likes of Mortal Kombat 11, which recently released, and slipped far behind its rival for the top spot at EVO last year, Street Fighter V, which charted 3rd in the registration scoreboard this year. The game still ranked over Soul Calibur 6 and BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. Destructoid commented that the decline in signups for Fighterz this year was rather mysterious, despite the amount of content that has come out in the past 12 months for the title, but speculation may be linked to a news story that broke at the tail end of last year in regards to tournaments dropping the fighting game from their rosters. Back in December 2018, there was a mysterious spate of cancellations of Fighterz contests from EVO Japan, Anime Ascension and DreamHack Atlanta, as reported by GameCrate. Speculation had been that Toei Animation had pulled the plug on this venture, but after Toei Animation and Bandai Namco swiftly denied any involvement in such matters, fingers began pointing towards Shueisha, the body in charge of all Dragon Ball rights across all properties. Further news began to spread that Shueisha had begun to charge higher fees to conventions to host their own tournaments using the video game in question. At the same time, Shueisha had begun to start up their own tournaments, so this could be seen as a power move to draw contestants to officially ran tournaments, leaving local events out in the cold. Some sources reported that these smaller events were to be charged in the 5-figure range, so as a result, these contests began removing the title from their roster. Thusly, it could be inferred that this may have begun a decline in people choosing to take up this game competitively. Will this game be affected in the long term? It remains to be seen. The creator of the Dragon Ball series and manga, Akira Toriyama, has been nominated for a prestigious comic book award and a spot in the Eisner Hall of Fame. Originally granted this nomination back in January, this news has resurfaced upon the approaching date of his acceptance into this exclusive group, which includes legendary comic artists from the likes of Marvel and DC. This news broke via comicbook.com and the official website for the San Diego Comic Conference, which takes place annually at the Los Angeles Convention Center in the city of the same name. Mr. Toriyama has been nominated in the Voters' Choice category of the celebrations, which sees 4 potential nominees be inducted into the club as chosen by a public audience. Mr. Toriyama is up against stiff competition though from the likes of Brian Boland of Camelot 3000 fame, Kevin Eastman, one of the co-creators of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Lily Renee Wilhelm Peter Phillips, a prominent comic artist from the mid-1940s with titles including Werewolf Hunter and The Lost World. Mr. Toriyama's induction is dependent on voter feedback to go alongside 4 pre-selected entrants for this year, so if you have a chance to have your say, make your voice heard at this year's event. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is about to release its 9th DLC pack in June of this year, but it is planning to rename its long-running downloadable content strategy going forward. As of DLC Pack 9, the naming structure will change to Ultra Pack 1. The gaming site Dexerto also elaborated that not only would the character Super Saiyan God Vegeta be added to the character roster, but the first Ultra Pack will include free content to Hero Colosseum and Crystal Raid, when the new content finally drops in June. This is a relief to many fans of the game, especially since the developers decided to call the new DLC pack Ultra Pack 1, hinting to a new series of future releases to come to the game. Like Dexerto mentioned, this modification of nomenclature has essentially confirmed the short-term future of Xenoverse 2, with rumours abound that a 3rd title in the series was about to be announced this year. Instead of that, the game Project Z, which was originally announced back in January, is expected to be launched later this year, with very little information about it coming out, since its first launch trailer several months ago. Based on Ultra Pack 1's content, these packs could follow a similar composition, with 1 major character being included, plus some smaller modifications to gameplay for various game modes within the larger title. This DLC pack is due out next month. And finally, if you are looking to get into collecting the manga of both Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, then there is no cheaper time to do so. Amazon.com has docked over 40% off the full collector's editions for both Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. All 42 volumes will be made available at the same time, with the blurb for the original Dragon Ball series stating that the Dragon Ball Complete box set contains all 16 volumes of the original manga that kicked off the global phenomenon. Also includes an exclusive double-sided poster and collector's booklet featuring fun Dragon Ball trivia and guides, as well as an interview with its legendary creator. The listing is also available for Amazon UK shoppers, but the discount is reduced to just 12% instead of the US's listing of 42%. There is no mention of how limited this offer is, so it's best that you be quick to get your hands on all of the manga at one time. That is all for today's Majin news. If you have any news concerning Dragon Ball that may be of interest to us, use the hashtag MajinNews and we shall credit you and fact check the information. Thank you. And until next week, it's goodbye from us.